All right. Um, Everybody, welcome to this talk. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed some of the problems that we had today. But without further ado, today we're gonna be taking a look at some of the experiences of the world's best problem solvers. So we have Leo Wu, who is an IMO Silver, Elaine Lee, who is an EGOI Silver, and Tiger Lee, who is an IMO Bronze. So these competitors have all proven themselves at this elite level, and we'll be talking about their journey to the IMO slash EGOI and the mindset it takes to perform at this level. So, whether you're a student dreaming of the IMO or just somebody who loves math, you're in for a cool experience today. So, let's get started. Yeah. Wait, Leo, Tiger, Elaine, could you guys turn your cameras on? Okay. Elaine, Tiger. Okay, great. So let's start with some icebreakers. So could you guys introduce yourselves? So just like tell us your name and a brief summary of, I guess, your recent math achievements or CS achievements.
Sure. So hello everyone. My name is Leo Wu. I just finished grade 10, so I'm going into grade 11 this September. And a little bit about me. So I won a silver medal at the IMO this summer, and I've also scored a near perfect 41 out of 42 on this year's USA JMO. Outside of math, I enjoy playing chess, walking in the park, and taking naps.
Here, I guess I'll go next. Hi, I'm Elaine. I'm going to grade 12 at UTS, and I guess for recent achievements, I've been selected for EGOI Team Canada and recently won a silver medal in July. And aside from coding, I also like doing math and physics, and I also play tennis.
Hi, I'm Tiger. I'm going to grade 10 at Milliken Mills High School. I got bronze on IMO 2025. Some other achievements are 42, aka perfect on JMO 2025. And outside of doing math, I do gaming like way too much.
Wait, Alex, you're muted.
Oh my God, okay. Um, okay, so I guess we'll start with the first question, which is what is your number one piece of advice that you give to anybody who's trying to do well in math contests? And we could go in that same order from Leo, Elaine, then Tiger.
Sure, okay. Then I'll go first. So, my number one piece of advice, if you're trying to do well in contests, is simply to find fun in what you do. So what this means that you need to really like enjoy math or coding if you want to do well in in the contest you're trying to do well in. And if you don't really like enjoy math or coding, then it's going to be a really long and painful journey, just like grinding math and coding every day, right? So and you really need to enjoy what you're doing in order to succeed at it. And to build onto this, if you're ever feeling burnt out or demotivated by what you're doing, then take a few breaks and just enjoy yourself and enjoy life. Like it's okay to be stressed out or demotivated as long as you just take care of yourself and like maintain a good mental state. Then in the end, everything will work out.
I think the number one advice I give is when you're preparing and when you're like actually in the contest, relax and don't give yourself too much pressure. Believe in yourself and like all the work you've put in towards the contest, and like don't panic mid-contest if you can't solve anything or if you think you're underperforming. I think this is like one of the key crucial advice I have or like that helped me a lot in my contest. For example, like I wasn't expecting to get like a high score at EGOI, so I was like really relaxed and calm the whole time, and I ended up performing better than expected on day one. So yeah, just don't stress too much.
What I would say is that like if contests don't go well as expected, such as IMO P2 was very sus. Like if it doesn't go as well as expected, then it's still okay, and you could just do better for next time. Like don't feel that sad about it. You are still muted.
Great advice, guys. So the next question is gonna be, what first sparked your interest in math or CS? And like, when was the moment that you felt like, yeah, I want to make IMO or EGOI?
So I was actually quite interested in math at a young age, like say grade 1 or grade 2 actually. But I only started math like really formal math contest training in around grade 8. And then when did I want to make IMO? So around late 2023, this is grade 9 for me. I had a series of successes on several contests. So this included an almost perfect score on the AMC 10 and making top 50 on HMMT. And this was the moment when I decided, like, yeah, I want to make the IMO team. And everything worked out in the end. So yeah.
For me, I actually started competitive programming like pretty late. Like in grade 8, I just like joined my school coding club with friends for fun. And like I ended up meeting like really OP people like Edward Chow and Alan Pei, who are like past II medalists. And like I really looked up to them, and I found out coding club and coding contests were like really fun. So I was encouraged to make the biggest coding contest of them all, EGOI. Yeah, that's
So I started math pretty early. So my parents just signed me up for art of problem solving classes when I was in grade 2, because I was kind of interested in math at that time, and like I just continued doing math, and that's where I am now. So I started like actually wanting to make IMO, like I think it was after I made TST 2024, because then I realized I could actually have a chance of making the team the year after.
All right. Thanks for that, guys. So the next question is going to be, how do you stay motivated when you feel burnt out or frustrated with a lack of progress?
So I touched on this previously, but the simplest thing to do is to simply take a break or change what you're working on. And I'll give an example. So a while back, I was working on some geometry problems that were really, really difficult, right? And I was quite frustrated about being not able to make any progress at all. So instead of just like crashing out, I changed the stuff I was working on. So I did some like easier algebra problems, and this helped me to decompress and just, like re-gear my mind and like allow me to essentially just remove the burnout from my life and like get back to working on math productively. So in general, just if you're feeling burnt out, take breaks and relax, and this will help you recover.
That's really good advice. And I also like to group solve and discuss problems with friends. I find it's always more fun and also easier when you can like jump ideas back and forth with friends. Yeah. And also what Leo said.
Like well, when I feel like demotivated, I just like take breaks for gaming, and yeah.
All right, great answers all around. So for the fourth question, it's going to be like, how do you balance schoolwork with the grind? Because we all know you probably like grind like 5 hours of math every day.
Okay. So I say there's two main things that like allow me to balance my schoolwork with practicing math all day. So the first thing is like don't pour your soul into schoolwork. You don't have to be a perfectionist. So what this means is like, especially if like for like very tedious homework that the teacher doesn't check, like you don't have to like put all your effort into it. You can just like understand the content, just do the practice problems quickly and just get through with it. And this saves time for other things. And the second thing I would do is I would do contest math problems during school math classes. And what this did was essentially give me an extra 7 hours a week of math practice, which is pretty good. And that's about it.
I mean, for me, like I usually do like an hour's like with like 1 to 2 hours of homework per day. So like that leaves like a lot of time for coding. And
等一下，
usually like since I don't really have like that much other ECs, so like I can save a lot of time for coding. this is like one of the other sacrifices I have to make, I guess. And also, coding is like really fun for me. So like when I find like an interesting DMH problem, for example, I find myself like thinking of it like at lunch, at during breaks, like even sometimes during class. So like then I'm developing ideas in my head like all day. So that kind of also saves time.
For me, I like just spend very little time on schoolwork, which is probably not the best idea, but it gave me more time to do math. So
Yeah, wonderful. Okay. So the next question is, have you given any thought on what you want to do after you graduate university, whether that be like a job, like doing more research in math or CS or whatever?
So I still have 2 years until I enter uni. So I haven't thought about this too much yet. But I know that I'm not very much of a math research guy. So I'm probably going to go into industry. And there's two main directions in industry for me. So either like something related to finance or something like related to tech. So for finance, this could be something like, I don't know, a quant job at like a large trading firm such as Jane Street. And for tech, this could be like working at a tech company, like either a large existing one like Microsoft or a small startup. And who knows? I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to grade 12, but I still haven't given it much thought yet, which doesn't sound like a good idea, but like I do love computer science and like everything related in that field. So I'm also really interested in like AI and like large language models, so I might end up doing research related to that.
so like I do math and also some coding, so I'm probably going to go to either like quant or just like coding in general, like software stuff. I still haven't thought about it much because I'm a small kid. I'll think about it later.
Yeah. Um, okay, so the next question is, they say hindsight is 2020. In terms of preparing for competitions, is there anything that you would have done differently?
For me, I guess there's two main things. So the first one is I definitely would have done more mocks, like mocks contests, in the days or weeks leading up to the contest. So one example of when I did not do this was last year's Euclid. So before the contest, I didn't do a single mock at all, which was a really bad idea. And as a result, I had no idea like what the contest would look like, and I had no sense of time during the contest. And this made it like my worst performance in any contest that year. Because doing mocks allows you to gauge the difficulty of the contest, which is pretty useful for preparing for the contest. And the second thing would be, be mentally prepared for weird or unexpected situations. The best example of this is this year's CMO, Canadian Math Olympiad. So there was a typo in the first problem, as many of you may know, and this made it very, very difficult. And I did not prepare for this at all, so I was just stuck on the first problem without moving on for like 2 hours. So in hindsight, you should prepare for just weird situations in general, and this will help you succeed.
Okay, first of all, I disagree that P1 was the most beautiful problem as a CS main that loves graph theory. Like that was a great problem. So like I absolutely disagree. And for the answer to the question, I should have spent more time and grinded more problems. You can never prepare enough for a contest. And I also should have reviewed topics that I have trouble with and practice more specific problems. For example, during this year's EGOI D2 P2, I was really mad because that problem wasn't even that hard, but I was just like not, I just wasn't good with like that area, so I absolutely trolled that problem. So yeah.
For me, so one thing is that I like did not spend enough time doing math this year because I was very huge Tetrio addiction, which is not very optimal. Another thing is that I just did not practice my like Olympiad geometry skills at all, and that ended up with me just failing IMO day one, which is sad.
Very unfortunate. But like on that topic, I guess, of like having to miss out on stuff, like were there any sacrifices that you guys had to make in order to like get to the level that you currently are? And would you say that they are worth it?
For me, I don't think so, not really. There weren't many sacrifices I had to make. Really because just I enjoy doing math. I'm pretty passionate for it. And I'm just quite lucky that I enjoy what I do, right? So I didn't sacrifice much to make the IMO. Just my time. That's it.
Yeah, for me, yeah, it's mainly the time commitment. Grinding for any Olympiad is a massive time commitment of its own. And I had to like give up on like a lot of my ECs. For example, I had like tennis competitions and like music competitions I had to give up on when prepping for EGOI. Yeah. But it was definitely worth it because I liked coding more.
I didn't really make many sacrifices because basically the only thing I used was just time, and I have way too much free time because I'm very lazy and am failing school. And
Well, I'm sure you're not lazy, Tiger. But on a more positive note, what's been your favorite experience related to your respective competition?
Um, well, this is an easy question. For me, it's definitely all the math camps that I've attended. So for instance, this year and last year, I attended the Canadian IMO training camps, the summer camps that are hosted in Banff. And at these camps, met like many amazing people, Tiger included, and had great experiences there. And the things that's different from camps than from school is that as opposed to school, at camps you meet like people that are interested in math for me, right? Like I'm interested in math. And at school, there's only like maybe one or two people that like math, but at camp, everyone loves math, right? And like these people, they're like similar to you, they have the same interests as you, and so does making friends with them is just a great experience in general. And this is my favorite experience.
For me, it's something very specific. It's stealing all the Jane Street merch from all the competitions. I got at least like 4 shirts from Jane Street just from IGOI alone, and I got this absolutely gorgeous water bottle. So if this motivates you to grind math or coding, yeah, please do. You got so much merch.
mine was probably just good food, cause yum, very yum.
Yeah, I'm sure all the math camps had good food. Um, okay, so just a few more questions left. So one more question I have is like, do you guys have any specific resources that you'd recommend that like were really helpful for you guys?
For me, I guess there's a few resources I'll mention. So the first is Leading Aces Academy classes. These were probably my number one resource by far. And I mean, I don't know what to say. They're just amazing. You should check them out. Um, Another resource would be this for the higher levels, there's a program called Otis, Olympiad Training for Individual Study. And it has a lot of material that you can just go over, and it's also pretty good. And in terms of books, I guess Evan Chan's EGMO book for geometry. And yeah, that's about it.
For coding, obviously Eddie's CS classes. Eddie's CS CC30 really helped me in my EGLE journey. And also there's something called if you are in a CS class, there's something called like World of Aces where you can like earn extra EXP if you do more DMOsh problems. So that's really nice. Other than that, there's the Yusaku Guide website. There's also many DMOsh contests that happen supposedly monthly, but now like yearly. So yeah.
What I would suggest is basically the same as Leo, would just Leading Aces Academy because just made me do problems because I wasn't like very motivated without it, and also Otis because like I can just do problems on my free time, which is good.
All right. So okay, we'll just have two more questions, and then after that we'll do a Q&A. Okay, so this next question is kind of a fun one. Like, do you guys have any sort of pre-competition ritual? Or like anything that gives you like good luck that you like do before a competition?
Um, I wouldn't exactly call this a ritual, but apart from the usual stuff like getting good night's sleep and stuff, I would eat chocolate before the contest, like lots and lots of chocolate. I don't know why, but it just makes me happy, and it has caffeine in it, right? Like a little bit of caffeine, so I don't know, maybe it helps. I'm not sure. But I just do it and it's pretty fun.
For me, I also eat munch on chocolate or some form of candy during the contest. I also get a drink, whether that's coffee or bubble tea, and that helps.
I don't really do anything special because half the time I just forget I have a contest. But there was one time, JMO 2025, where I ate like 30 pieces of candy during the contest.
I can confirm that Tiger did eat like 30 pieces of candy during the contest.
I can affirm the
Um,
statement as well.
All right, and last question before we do a Q&A. So how do you switch like from, I guess this is more of a math question, but I think it's kind of like CS related as well. Like how do you switch from easier questions such as like numerical ones that you'd see on the AMC 10 to like MO questions that are like super long, or I guess for CS this would be like just like thinking about easier CS questions versus harder problems. So in general, I guess, how do you like prepare for really difficult questions that might take you like many different hours to solve?
So math-wise, I believe that as long as you keep improving, this will occur naturally. But the hardest thing about this switch from like easier numerical questions to harder ML questions would be developing the patience required to like sit there for like an hour on end and just like stare at a question and try to solve it. And for me, this just came in the form of Leading Aces Academy classes, right? Like at least a year ago, they had a class called MO Preparation, I believe.
Transition, yeah.
Yeah, or transition, where essentially they just give you a bunch of like not super hard MO problems, but they're still MO problems, right? They're easier MO problems. And it like trains up the ability to just be patient and just sit there for a long time and just work on problems. And it was really helpful for me. Just build up patience and things will work out.
For CS, it's less applicable, but I think some good advice is probably to like do math because like math and CS are very like interconnected, and if you get good at like math, especially like combo, like it helps a lot with doing CS problems. So go sign up for Leading Aces math classes too, guys. And also most CS problems are like based on like a key idea or like a key algorithm. So definitely go take Leading Aces CC30 class to learn all the algorithms you'll ever need for hard problems.
Um, for switching from numerical to like Olympiad math, so as Leo said, one thing you need to do is build patience because sometimes like even me, I still crash out after like not being able to solve a question for like 1 hour because it still does get frustrating, but you can just like practice that to just change your mindset to not crashing out after 1 hour. Yeah.
All right, so that's the list of prepared questions that I had. Um, we just have so far one question, but if you guys have any other questions, just drop them in the chat. I think it should be working now. So this question is, how often slash how many hours a day do you practice math slash CS? And what is the best balance between learning theory from books and doing mocks? So I guess a two-part question.
I'll take the first part first. So how many hours do I spend, I'll just say per week on math. Um, so during the school year, this is probably around, say, 20 hours a week. It can vary because there are times during school, such as midterms or final exams, where the pressure builds up and you need to spend less time on math. But I'll say 20 is a good number. Like that's like a good average number. During the summers, this can go up to like 30 or 40, depending if it's during camp or not.
For me, I do CS like 2 to 3 hours per day, but that's also because I also do math sometimes. And for CS, you don't really get like a lot of mock contests because they take like a lot of time. Like EGOI is like 4.5 hours, and like your average CS contest is like 3 hours. So yeah, you usually just do problems. You take every chance you can get to do like actual contests.
How many hours I spend on math every day is like it changes a lot depending on how I'm feeling. Like some days I get really motivated and do like 5 hours. Other days I'm just like sad and just watch YouTube for those 5 hours instead. And, for balancing learning theory and doing mocks, like most of the time I'm just doing problems and I don't do that much theory because, well, for me it benefits more from doing like problems than learning new stuff because I still haven't perfected the material yet.
So I'll just go do some like fun ones real quick before we do some actual questions. So for Tiger, what were some yum yum foods that you ate at math contests?
Um, Maynard's, Kit Kat, Haichu. There's probably some more I forgot.
Okay, Tiger, how do you improve at Geometry Dash?
Bro, I haven't played it too.
Okay, and last fun question. The rest of the questions, we're just gonna keep to the serious ones. So how do you start a Tetrio career? Is four-wide practice important?
You should do SDPC instead.
Okay, all right. So please, just like ask serious questions now. I'll just go down the list. So for Leo specifically, how do you manage potential time conflict between a heavy IB workload and the time needed to prepare for CMO/IMO?
So currently I'm in well, I've just finished grade 10, right? And grade 9 and grade 10 in IB are known as pre-IB years. And so what this means that is the workload is, at least compared to the later 2 years, it's much lighter. And so I'd say pre-IB is just a little heavier than like say the mainstream classes in terms of coursework. And so it was honestly wasn't that bad for me. And as well, like say science homework and math homework were pretty trivial. And so honestly, I did it wasn't too bad, too hard to manage. Next year though, I will be spending probably less time on math simply because IB workload will pick up and I'll have to spend more time on IB work. Yeah. So fortunately, I made IMO before grade 11, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And this next question for everybody. So since okay, this question is really general actually. I think okay, so the question was like, since when you started the math contest journey, like what is your suggestion if students want to get to CMO/USAMO level? I think like we've already covered this. So I'm not going to go over it again. Um, the next question is like how do you find time to grind large amounts of questions in a short amount of time? Like Otis, ISL, Eddie's homework, etc. simultaneously.
I can touch on this a bit. So one thing you can do is like just try to find time when, say, you're free and just like find an easier problem and just work on it then. Like for example, let's say it's lunchtime. I'm at school, right? I'm with my friends and like we're not doing anything exciting. I can just pull up like an ISL problem, like an easy one, and just try to work on it, right? And I don't know, it's not too useful, but it can help. And that's just one thing you can do.
Yeah. So I guess it's all about like doing time management. Um, okay, we have a few other questions about time management. One question, how do you balance math with other extracurriculars? I think we've already covered that. Something that is a bit new, somebody asked if a schedule is recommended. Like if you guys, I guess use a calendar or whatever to manage your time.
So me personally, I don't actually have a schedule. I just work on what I feel like working on, right? So I guess Eddie's like class deadlines do help. So let's say there's a homework due in 2 weeks. I should probably work on that like at some time. But other than this, just I just do what I feel like doing. I don't know. It worked out.
All right.
Um,
Okay, Elaine, do you have
oh
anything to
no, I'm just saying I don't have a schedule either.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, okay, next question. Uh, okay, this one's really general, but how do you identify what the best approach is to solve a problem? Elaine, Tiger, do you guys have anything? Any ideas?
I guess like you just find the best approach just by like practicing and then like just get like yeah, you just get better at that naturally, I guess.
Yeah, intuition does play a large role. I mean, general advice is just to like do more problems, and I guess you'll see after an amount of time. Or you can also try doing like those kind of like specific like topic problems for like each like after like every like new topic you learn, I guess.
All right, yeah. So I guess it's really just about like how much practice you guys do. Which so I'd say like I think practice is just the general consensus. Okay, so for the next question, oh, somebody is unmuted. Okay, thanks. So this one's pretty specific. So how do you approach problems? Okay, so if you have an algebra slash DP program, DP problem, do you think of specific techniques or do you just like do it, I guess? To rephrase, do you guys have specific techniques for specific categories or do you just use your intuition?
Um, if I'm understanding the question correctly, um, yes, there are certain things you can try for like certain types of problems, but then again, just like it's all about intuition, right? You have to like practice a lot and just build up intuition and like just have an idea of what to use when. Yeah.
All right. Let me see if there are any other actual questions. I don't think there are any other questions. Does oh wait. Okay, there's some questions in general chat. What is the ratio of topic practice versus mock?
Me personally, I would only do like a mock for a contest, like in let's say the week or two leading up to the contest. Otherwise, it would just all be practice, right? Like practicing general problems as opposed to doing a mock. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think there isn't really a general answer for that. I feel like it's pretty specific. So yeah. Um, the next question, how do you handle limited time in an AMC 12 style contest? Tiger, since you got like perfect on AMC, do you want to have a shot at this question?
Um, Leo got double perfect, but I guess just like check your answers extra and just make sure that they're like actually right because like that's really important because like if you get good enough, like you're probably going to be able to solve most of the 25 problems, but they might be wrong. That's like the biggest issue. So just gotta practice your accuracy.
All right. So next question. Um, do grades matter? Elaine, do you wanna comment?
I mean, depending on like where you want to go, I guess, like try to keep it above a 90, surely. But like if your grades are like good to a certain extent, you can just like let go for a bit, I guess, and focus on grinding math. But like please don't drop it to like 70s. Please pass your school, guys. Like please pass your tests.
I
Um,
agree. I
yeah.
agree.
Okay. Next question. So at what grade did you finish the entire school math curriculum? Um, or did you learn contest math while learning math at school?
For me, well, unrigorously, as in this means just like by watching YouTube videos, I finished like high school math around grade 8, I would say. But I still didn't learn a bunch of topics like stats or whatever. But I just like knew the general gist of it in around grade 8. Yeah.
Um, I had an Olympiads class like streak, and I was really like proud of my Olympiads class streak. So I got to like grade 12 like advanced functions and calculus by like grade 7, and I forgot everything by grade 8, and I had to relearn it in grade 9. So like maybe don't like cram all the math courses so early, because like calc is like not that used in actual like math contest and Olympiads. Maybe just do up to grade 11 math. I think that's enough.
All right. This next question is, what strategies do you guys use to help learn new content? I feel like the answer to 90% of these questions is just grind more, but I don't know if do you guys have any like comments? Tiger, perhaps? No? Okay.
Just read books, do problems. That's about it, I guess. Just practice. It's all about practice.
Yeah, I think the answer to most of these questions is just do more math. Okay, are there any more actual questions? Um, how would you start from scratch? I think, was this already answered? Sure. If you guys were gonna start from scratch, like what would you guys, like what pathway would you guys take, I guess? Like what math would you do?
This depends very heavily on whether I start from scratch, like at my current age, or I like teleport back in time to like say grade 1 and start again.
Let's say like to when you first started doing contest math.
Honestly, just at least for the first year, just do more math. I didn't do much math in my first year. That's about it. Just do more math. That's it.
Yes, do more math is indeed the answer to 90% of these questions. Okay. I don't think there are any more actual questions. Oh wait. For CS, how much Code Force contests do you guys practice? I think this is directed towards Elaine mostly.
I mean, for like usually when I have time, I just do like the weekly Code Forces contest and gain rating. But uh like like if you have time, just do it. It's really fun, basically. That's my mentality.
All right. I think also for Elaine, to start learning CS, is grade 10 math a must? And what should a beginner do to start learning CS?
I can't remember what's in grade 10 math, but I mean for CS, like you don't really need to know uh like much of the, I guess you kind of need to know the functions. You don't need to know that much. Like I think for starting CS, like the most important things is probably to like have an understanding of like the language, like obviously like learn Python, learn Java, learn C++, and then just start learning like some of the more basic algorithms. I don't think most of the basic algorithms need math. Some other math topics you might need are like recursion, and then the stuff to do with like all the binary digits. Those are important.
Okay, another question for Elaine. Did you follow Usako Guide, and what are the main resources that you used?
Yeah, Yusaku Guide is really important. I basically just followed that. And other main resources is basically just Eddie's CC30 class. Yeah, I basically learned like everything I know with Eddie's coding classes.
Okay. Um, okay. I think this is for the math people, but did you guys do AOPS classes, and what are your thoughts on them?
So I started at AOPS in grade 2. Like it was Introduction to Algebra 8, and I just basically just finished the entire curriculum in like I think I think I did pre-calculus in grade 5, and then I did root in grade 6, and yeah.
And what are your thoughts on AOPS classes?
They're good if you want to learn the material, but they can be slow at times because like sometimes they just give you a question and then they take like 10 minutes to answer it. Like 10 minutes before they post the next thing, like the next part of the questions. So it can be like slow and like kind of frustrating if you already know how to do the problem.
Okay, another question for Elaine. Should you learn C++ and then learn all of the algorithms, or should Java be fine for you, Sako?
Uh, Java is fine for Yusaku. You can definitely use Java. Java is probably fine up to like the actual like Olympiad level stuff. But like C++ and Java are like really similar. I'm sure if you know Java, like you can get used to C++ in like a week. Like the transition isn't that bad. So yeah, like you can take your time if you want to like do C++, but you can definitely start learning all the algorithms of Java.
Okay, I guess for math people, what are your thoughts on math dash training?
Um, no comment.
Okay, no comment. Tiger, any thoughts on math dash?
Very fun for wasting time, but it is fun, I would say that. And I may or may not be spending a little way too much time on it.
Oh, okay, wise words from Tiger Lee. Um, I think that is all the questions that we have. Uh, are there any other final questions? Okay, okay, I think we'll take probably like two more. So what age did you start learning CS, and what grade would you recommend to start?
Uh, I think I started like I learned the language Python in like grade 5 with like a YouTube video. So like I don't know if you want to call that like actual learning. I think I started like actually like learning all the competitive programming stuff and not just the languages in like grade 8 basically. So there's always time.
Wow. Okay. And is Woot worth it? For Tiger.
I don't really remember exactly because it was like way too long ago. But I was just gaming during the classes, so I forgot. I had insane geometry dash addiction.
Okay. So yeah, I guess the Woot, I guess the AOPS classes are bad if you're like if you get distracted easily. Okay. I think that is all like the actual questions that we have for today. If you guys have other questions, I guess you can DM these competitors on Discord. But other than that, I hope you guys all learned something cool about math and CS at the international level. So with that said, if you guys are doing the Topswatch contest, see you guys at closing ceremony / awards in like 30 minutes. And yeah, have a great day. Bye guys.